Yesterday morning, Caitlin Clark entered the first tee at Pelican Golf Club. And what followed ought to make the WNBA completely ill. At a golf tournament, thousands of spectators crammed the galleries in fever jerseys. Even though she hadn't swung a club yet, the fans screamed as if she had just hit a game-winning goal. After that, she made the long-awaited news. However, this is what no one is discussing. The league that really employs Clark continues to operate as though she doesn't exist, despite the fact that she received the Tiger Woods treatment at a golf event. The pundits on Golf Channel also didn't hold back. They candidly expressed what we've all been considering over the past 2 years. The stark contrast revealed every flaw in the WNBA's operations. This wasn't your typical celebrity golf outing. This was a masterclass in what occurs when a sport truly welcomes its biggest star. Rather than disparaging her, Clark was wearing head-to-toe Nike apparel with her CC insignia, hinting at impending player edition golf shoes that she claims aren't quite flawless. Her caddies, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall, brought the chemistry of the locker room to the fairways. However, things changed when Clark casually disclosed that she had fully recovered from the shoulder ailment that had kept her out of action for the whole season. Complete strength, pain-free, and she decided to make the announcement at a golf tournament rather than via WNBA channels because she was ready to rule. Give that some thought. Click the like button right now if you think the backstory is important, because what we're about to analyze explains why the WNBA is unable to deal with the biggest thing that has ever happened to women's basketball. This is what a lot of you have been saying for weeks. You can learn all you need to know about why the WNBA has trouble expanding by comparing how Caitlin Clark is treated by other sports to how her own league handles her. It was unequivocally demonstrated yesterday. The figures are accurate. According to reports, attendance at this year's prom increased by 1,200%, not 12% over the previous year. 1,200%. These Caitlin Clark effect numbers, which we've seen change basketball arenas, are now appearing at a Florida golf course. This is what makes it intriguing. The LPGA did not merely permit Clark to compete. The entire red carpet was laid out. One of the most well-known players in women's golf, Nelly Korda, was paired with her. They covered the entire event on the Golf Channel as if it were a major championship. They realized something that the WNBA won't acknowledge. Caitlin Clark does more than simply play when she shows up. She turns the entire event into a must-watch show that attracts new viewers to your sport. Let's go back to how this day actually transpired, as the specifics are important in this case. The excitement was unlike any LPGA prom in recent memory when Clark arrived early in the morning. It was dubbed the Caitlin Clark effect by Front Office Sports. Before the first tee even took a practice swing, the gallery was several rows deep. From the parking lot, you could hear supporters yelling her name. Carson Hocevar, a NASCAR racer, attended a jersey exchange. Golf was discovered by basketball fanatics. Golf enthusiasts were able to observe the phenomenon that everyone is talking about. This is where things start to get interesting, though. Clark purposefully wore his all-Nike ensemble. Each piece revealed a tale about her growing business outside of basketball. Every angle of the camera captured the CC logo. During interviews, she talked about her upcoming Player Edition golf shoes before uttering this flawless statement. She informed reporters that her most recent golf enhancements are still being worked on. Before anyone witnesses them in action, she needs them to be flawless. She takes every facet of her brand very seriously, as evidenced by the attention to detail. When your name is at stake, you don't rush excellence. When questioned about playing with Clark, Nelly Korda said the atmosphere was completely insane. Korda commended Clark for turning her presence into a celebration of women's athletics. The LPGA player mentioned how enjoyable it was to spend time with someone who infuses everything with that much vitality. Reading in between the lines, Korda saw that something unique was taking place. This wasn't merely a marketing gimmick involving two athletes from different sports. This was one sport demonstrating how another is truly performed. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall arrived sporting personalized caddy uniforms bearing their names and WNBA jersey numbers. In between shots, the three pals made fun of each other all day. The true chemistry that sets the Fever apart was clearly visible. This wasn't coerced. These athletes genuinely take pleasure in one another's company. When Sophie unintentionally struck a fan with her driving, Clark exclaimed, "Man down," as Sophie hurried to express regret. Everyone laughed at the fan's reaction. "Don't feel bad," he said to Sophie. "It was worthwhile." "Your wife without missing a beat," Sophie retorted. The whole gallery erupted in laughter. However, making the connections shows that there is much more going on beneath the surface. The most memorable basketball moment of the day had nothing to do with golf. It has to do with what Clark disclosed about her health going into the upcoming season. She demonstrated newfound strength with each swing. Her follow-through appeared to be painless and seamless. She was obviously past the shoulder problems that had restricted her range of motion during the season. Additionally, the timing wasn't coincidental. Clark decided to make her biggest basketball news of the offseason during this cross-court moment. The ideal platform was offered by the Golf Channel. Maximum impact was ensured by national coverage. She was in charge of the story around her recuperation. She was able to talk about her future aspirations while showcasing her physical prowess. Before she even finished the back nine, the gallery's fervent supporters began chanting about the 2026 season. Pelican Golf Club was filled with the sounds of a championship. The enthusiasm for basketball replaced the love of golf. In the Florida heat, Fever jerseys turned into victory flags. Everyone could tell by Clark's smile that she heard every single chant. This is the true meaning of this. The story around Indiana's championship aspirations is completely changed by Clark's health report. Without their main player at full strength, the Fever made it to the playoffs. They have now restored her to full health. Her trademark enthusiasm and leadership returned to a team that had previously shown they could contend. Every other WNBA team finds the combo to be utterly dangerous. On the golf course, however, the true story was only getting started. Please share your thoughts about the Fever's chances of winning the title in 2026 with a healthy Caitlin Clark at the top of the team in a comment below. Because of what? What transpired next at Pelican Golf Club revealed something that the WNBA fervently wishes to remain silent. Clark's golf game wasn't the most significant event of the day. It was observing how the WNBA still treats her like an issue to handle while the LPGA threw an absolute red carpet. It was impossible to ignore the dramatic difference. During their telecast, pundits on the Golf Channel didn't hold back. They publicly denounced the 2 years that Clark has been mistreated and disregarded by her own league. Even the golf community is aware of the unethical plays made against Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, according to one pundit. Take a moment to consider that. Playing golf analysts didn't hesitate to point out what was evident to all basketball viewers. The commentary implied that those outside of basketball circles were also aware of the problem. During their round together, Nelly Korda talked about how it was a pleasure to play with Clark. Korda commended Clark for her enthusiasm and influence on women's athletics. Clark was treated like the celebrity she truly is by the LPGA great. However, this contrast ought to make every WNBA official ashamed. While WNBA officials have spent months minimizing Clark's influence on their sport, golf has fully embraced this moment. They downplayed her accomplishments. They won't accept her ability to sketch. Instead of acknowledging that Clark's success poses a danger to their image, the league acts as though preserving it. Celebrity pairings, primetime coverage, and treatment of Clark's presence as a major event were all provided by the LPGA. Her round was covered in depth by Golf Channel. Every scene and discussion was captured by network cameras. She was paired with well-known celebrities like Korda by the tournament organizers. They realized that Clark's participation made the entire affair more memorable. Her star power didn't scare them. They turned it into a weapon. However, Sophie Cunningham then said the statement that is currently going viral on social media. Sophie didn't think twice when spectators in the gallery yelled for her and Lexi Hall to step down due to the fever. She spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Tell them to pay us." The league-wide compensation problems were revealed by remark. The golf course turned into an unanticipated forum for talking about player worth and league management shortcomings that the WNBA had thought would remain under wraps during the offseason. When you saw this pattern, you were right. It was impossible to overlook the contrast. At a golf tournament, Clark was treated like Tiger Woods, but in basketball, he encounters institutional opposition. Golf fully embraced her star power. Basketball appears to be really terrified of what she stands for. Nobody saw the irony that Clark was treated better in a recreational sport than in the one where she is actually changing the competitive scene. Various sources of income. The real figures convey the true story, so let's cut through the noise and examine them. Attendance at the exhibition demonstrated that Clark's influence goes well beyond any one sport. It is no coincidence that attendance has increased by 200% over prior years. Her artistic ability is not misrepresented by those figures. Analysts on Golf Channel said that Clark's cross-sport appeal is precisely what women's athletics need at this time. They acknowledged her capacity to introduce entirely new audiences to well-known sports. Instead of embracing her star power, the WNBA appears to be really terrified of it. League officials are concerned about specific players not overpowering their brand. Instead of celebrating personalities, they would rather manage them. When you consider how other sports embrace her participation, the strategy appears wholly outdated. The media attention and gallery attendance demonstrated that Clark elevates any sport she participates in. A normal program became must-watch television because of her appearance. Because Caitlin Clark was playing, golf gained new admirers. That's what star power is all about. During interviews, Clark talked about her experience playing golf. She said that she received pink golf clubs for her birthday as a child, stopped playing, and then picked it up again while attending college. Supervisors and colleagues. Despite the fact that none of them were particularly good, they managed to make it competitive. The sincere passion for the game was evident. She wasn't there to get attention. She was there because she respects what the LPGA stands for and genuinely enjoys playing golf. Clark stressed mutual support when questioned about playing with Nelly Korda and what it means for two of the top names in women's sports to collaborate. She has always been a strong supporter of women's sports, including volleyball, soccer, golf, and other sports. She talked about getting a close-up look at Nelly's skill and how she makes golf seem so simple. The mutual respect between athletes from various sports demonstrated precisely what the WNBA is absent. Festivity rather than competition elevation as opposed to reduction. The WNBA's strategy appears even more perplexing when you observe this. Contrasts play out in real time. Clark's a basic reality was revealed on golf day. She is greater than any one league, and the groups that support her will gain the most. Now, the question becomes whether the WNBA will eventually take note of golf's blueprint or keep missing chances to work with their biggest talent. Considering their past performance, we're not holding our breath. Clark's day at Pelican Golf Club demonstrated that she's not only a player of basketball, she is a movement that goes beyond league politics and athletics. Her influence extends much beyond any one arena or court, as evidenced by the enormous crowds and media coverage. Opportunities that no one else can equal are created by her ability to attract fans from several sports. Because Clark is in good condition, driven, and surrounded by teammates who have faith in something greater than personal achievement, the 2026 season has become a must-watch on television. The golf event strengthened Sophie and Lex's relationship as friends and players. With its skipper back at full strength, the Fever roster is prepared to pursue what they were unable to accomplish the previous season. Each and every fan gets to witness Clark redefine what female athletes can accomplish when leagues genuinely assist them rather than against them. We're keeping track of every decision the WNBA takes going into the upcoming season, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications enabled. Next, we'll explain why Sophie's request that they compensate us could lead to the largest CBA dispute in league history. You won't want to overlook what we discovered. Continue challenging the story until the next time.